You know that feeling when you're about to start a renovation, and the only thing stopping you from digging a hole is the nagging thought that you might hit a live wire or a buried pipe and end up with a costly repair bill. It's a real worry, especially if you've never used a utility locator before, because the market is full of cheap gadgets that promise find anything, but end up giving you a frustrating beep and a wasted day. I'm going to walk through what you really need to know before you decide whether the Amprobe UAT 505 Underground Utility Locator Kit is worth the money for your situation. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why a dedicated utility locator matters. When you're pulling a new water line, laying conduit for a home theater, or just planting a garden, the underground network can be a maze of energized and de-energized cables, metal pipes, and even plastic conduits that hide beneath the surface. Hitting an energized line isn't just an inconvenience, it can be dangerous, and in many jurisdictions you're legally required to locate utilities before you dig. That's why a rugged, reliable kit isn't a luxury, it's a safety tool. The Amprobe UAT 505 is positioned as a professional-grade solution, and from the specs it does a few things that set it apart from the entry-level models you see on the shelf. It can locate both energized and de-energized wires, which is a big deal if you're working on a site where power may be turned off for a short window, but you still need to verify that everything is truly dead. The kit also handles metal detection, so you can trace copper grounding rods or steel water mains in the same pass. Those multiple tracing modes save you from having to juggle a handful of handhelds and swap batteries in the middle of a job. Depth is another practical concern. The display on the receiver tells you how deep the signal is, and the UAT 505 claims depth measurement up to 20 feet. That's more than enough for most residential and light commercial projects where utilities are typically buried between a foot and a few feet deep. For deeper installations, say, a trench for a municipal fiber line that goes down 30 feet, the kit still offers detection capability down to 100 feet, though you'll be relying on signal strength rather than an exact depth readout. In real-world terms, that means you can confidently confirm whether a line runs under a driveway before you break concrete, without having to hire a third-party service. Now, who actually benefits from this kit? If you're a licensed electrician, a plumbing contractor, or a landscaper who regularly digs trenches, the UAT 505 fits right into your toolbox. The rugged housing is built to survive the kind of drops and bumps you get on a job site, and the high-contrast display with automatic backlight means you can read results even in low-light conditions, think early morning starts or overcast days. For a DIY homeowner who is tackling a one-off project like installing a new fence post or a small shed, the kit can still be valuable, but you have to weigh the cost against how often you'll actually need it. If your next project is just moving a garden hose, a simple stud finder or a cheap handheld detector might be sufficient. On the flip side, there are a couple of practical trade-offs to keep in mind. Because the UAT 505 is a full kit transmitter, receiver, headphones, and a carrying case, it's bulkier than the pocket-sized units that fit on a keychain. That isn't a problem if you already have a dedicated toolbox, but if you're looking for something you can toss in a glove compartment, you might feel the weight. Also, the kit focuses on metal and electrically conductive targets. It won't help you locate non-metallic plastic conduits that are sometimes buried alongside the wires. So if your typical job involves a lot of PVC pipe, you'll still need a separate method to verify those locations. Battery life is another subtle point. The transmitter and receiver both run on standard AA batteries, which are easy to replace, but you'll want to keep spares on hand for a full day of work. In my experience with similar Amprobe models, the batteries tend to last through several hours of continuous use, but they do drain faster if you're constantly switching between energized and de-energized modes. It's not a deal breaker, just something to plan for in your prep routine. Let's walk through a concrete scenario. Imagine you're a homeowner planning to add a new deck that will sit over an existing slab. You've called the local utility company, and they've marked the general area, but the markings are vague and you want to be absolutely sure there's no hidden power feed under where the deck posts will go. You pull out the UAT 505, set the transmitter to the de-energized mode because the power is turned off for the day, and walk the line of where the posts will be placed. The receiver immediately lights up,